An 84-year-old woman vanished from her home in the middle of the night, and the only witness who cannot lie is still beating inside her chest right now. Tucson, Arizona, Catalina Foothills, February 1st, 2026. The clock starts at 9:48 p.m. That is the last confirmed normal moment in Nancy Guthrie's life. And from that second forward, every piece of evidence the FBI has collected raises a question that still has not been answered on the record. Today we break down exactly what is confirmed, what authorities tried, what technology was deployed, and what the evidence still cannot explain. Stay to the end, because the final link in this chain is the one no official has addressed publicly. And that silence is louder than anything else in this case. Here is what we know. On the evening of January 31st, Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, with limited mobility and requiring daily medication, the mother of NBC's Today co-host Savannah Guthrie, had dinner at the home of her oldest daughter, Annie. It was a normal night. Her son-in-law, Tommaso Cioni, drove her home afterward. Authorities confirmed he dropped her off at her Catalina Foothills residence at approximately 9:48 p.m. 2 minutes later, at 9:50 p.m., the garage door closed. She went inside. The garage closed. That is the last moment anyone can point to and say that Nancy Guthrie was safe. Now understand who Nancy is in this context. Savannah Guthrie described her mother's heart as fragile and said she lives in constant pain. Authorities formally classified her as a vulnerable adult. She did not drive. She had a routine. She had church on Sunday morning. There was no reason, none, for her to leave that house. When her family arrived the following morning, they found her phone on the counter, her wallet on the counter, her medication untouched. They found blood at the scene. They found signs of forced entry. She left nothing behind. Someone took everything else. Between 9:50 p.m. on January 31st and 1:47 a.m. on February 1st, there is a gap of nearly 4 hours. No camera, no neighbor, no witness. Authorities have not said what happened inside that house during those 4 hours. What we do know is what happened after. At exactly 1:47 a.m., Nancy Guthrie's Nest doorbell camera disconnected. Not a power outage, not a normal shutdown, a disconnection. The eye of the house went dark. Then, 25 minutes of silence. And here is the detail that doesn't get enough attention. 25 minutes after that camera went dark, the software still detected motion. Something or someone was at that door. The camera could not see them anymore, but the system registered their presence. The door. The dark. Someone is there. 16 minutes after that motion detection, at 2:28 a.m., Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker disconnected from the app on her cell phone. Stop there, because that timestamp is unlike every other timestamp in this case. Every other piece of evidence, the camera, the door sensors, the garage log, is tied to the house. This one is tied to her body. Her pacemaker, which uses Bluetooth low-energy technology and broadcasts a signal every 2 to 3 minutes, lost its connection to her phone at exactly 2:28 a.m. Not because the pacemaker stopped working. Pacemakers do not need that connection to function. They keep beating regardless. It disconnected because Nancy Guthrie was no longer within range of her own phone. She had been moved. That is the last digital trace of Nancy Guthrie. 2:28 a.m. And then she was gone. When her family could not reach her Sunday morning, and she failed to appear at church, they went to the house. Phone, wallet, medication, blood. A missing persons report was filed, and a large-scale search operation launched on February 1st. What no one knew yet was that while law enforcement was beginning their search, the footage captured on that Nest camera, footage investigators would later describe as showing an armed individual appearing to tamper with the camera, had already been sitting in the system, waiting. That footage was not released to the public until February 10th. What it showed was a masked male, estimated at 5 feet 9 inches to 5 feet 10 inches tall, average build. He had a holstered firearm visible at his waistband. He was carrying a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack, a backpack the FBI says was sold exclusively at Walmart. Instead of covering the camera with his hand or a piece of tape, he walked to the front yard, picked up a piece of shrubbery, and used it to cover the lens. He had a flashlight in his mouth. He moved, according to international security consultant Carl de la Guerra, calmly, almost without a definite purpose. He knew the camera was there. He had a plan. It just was not quite right. Savannah Guthrie posted the footage to her Instagram the same day saying, "We believe she is still alive. Bring her home." Retired FBI agent Christy Cottis told Katie Couric Media that the footage felt like a staged video. That assessment has not been officially confirmed or denied. And here is the question that follows from it. If this was staged, who was the intended audience? 50,000 tips have come in since this case began. The suspect's eyes and mouth were visible. Millions of people have seen his face. Not one coworker, neighbor, or family member has come forward to identify him. Not one. In 4 weeks of the most public missing persons case in America, authorities have not said why. 3 days after Nancy disappeared, on February 3rd, TMZ received what it described as a ransom note. 2 Tucson stations, KGUN9 and KOLD, received similar communications. The alleged demand was $6 million in Bitcoin, sent to a specific wallet address. A deadline came first on Thursday, then a second deadline on Monday, February 9th at 5 p.m. local time. The Pima County Sheriff's Department acknowledged they were aware of reports circulating about ransom notes and said tips go directly to detectives coordinating with the FBI. They did not confirm any note as legitimate. One note was later confirmed to be fake, and that led to an arrest. Other notes were described by law enforcement as plausible but not verified. Millions. Bitcoin. A clock. Savannah Guthrie and her siblings posted a video to Instagram saying they would pay. The Monday 5 p.m. deadline arrived, and it passed. The Bitcoin wallet that TMZ reported as tied to that ransom note showed a zero balance. No transactions were recorded. Then, on the afternoon of February 10th, 1 day after the deadline expired, the wallet recorded activity. A single transaction, approximately $152, 0.0022 Bitcoin. TMZ founder Harvey Levin confirmed the transaction to Fox News. The source of those funds was unknown. Anyone with a copy of the note could have sent it. Bezalel Ethan Raviv, Chief Executive Officer of blockchain forensics firm Lionsgate Network, told the New York Post that even a transaction this small could potentially expose whoever sent it. The FBI was monitoring the wallet. Authorities have not released results of that monitoring. Someone moved money. It was not the ransom. Then the wallet went dark. The same day that the wallet showed activity, law enforcement released new surveillance footage. Hours later, a 36-year-old delivery driver named Carlos Palazuelos, working for GLS Parcel Service out of Rio Rico, Arizona, was pulled over in a traffic stop connected to the investigation. He was detained. He was later released. Standing outside his house, he told CBS News, "I didn't do anything, to be honest. I'm innocent." He said he had never heard of Nancy Guthrie. He was not charged. 2 days later, on the evening of February 13th and into February 14th, a Pima County SWAT team and FBI executed a federal search warrant at a residence approximately 2 miles from Nancy's home in the Catalina foothills. 4 people were detained. A Range Rover was towed. The operation was significant enough that Fox News Digital had reporters on the ground. Sheriff Chris Nanos said it directly. No sign of Nancy was found. No arrests. All 4 were released. The door was opened. She was not there. Now here is where the technology enters. and where the questions get sharpest. By February 4th, just 3 days after Nancy vanished, Fox News Digital had already spotted a low-flying helicopter circling near her home. By February 16th and 17th, into the third week of the search, law enforcement confirmed to CBS News what that helicopter was carrying: a signal sniffer. Specifically, Parsons Corporation confirmed via social media that their Bluefly Bluetooth and Wi-Fi sensor units were deployed in the search. The device works like this. It uses an amplifier and a directional antenna to detect Bluetooth low-energy signals, filtering out every nearby device until it locks onto one specific MAC address, the unique identifier of Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker. Morgan Wright, Chief Executive Officer of the National Center for Open and Unsolved Cases, told KOLD that the device has software running in it. It continuously scans, and if it does not recognize hers, it eliminates other signals until it locks onto the right one. David Kennedy, a former NSA hacker who invented the signal sniffer used in this case, told CBS News that the pacemaker broadcasts that signal every 2 to 3 minutes, and that with signal amplifiers and high-gain antennas, the detectable radius can extend to several hundred feet. Kennedy tested a drone-mounted version at his home using off-the-shelf modifications. The helicopter flew in grid patterns, low and slow, over the Tucson search area. They were hunting a heartbeat from the sky. Morgan Wright called the pacemaker the most unbiased witness we have because it is sending telemetry data. Dr. Lawrence Epstein, System Director of Electrophysiology at Northwell Health and Professor of Cardiology at Hofstra Medical School, had already set the technical boundary in an interview with People magazine. He said a pacemaker is not a GPS chip. Its Bluetooth signal, he explained, is short-range. Former FBI Special Agent Maureen O'Connell reinforced that limitation to News Nation, saying she knows the pacemaker sends off a very short-distance alert, so they are going to have to get really close. The FBI also deployed its cellular analysis survey team to analyze cell phone tower data in parallel. The helicopter circled and circled. And here is the problem. As of the 4th week of this investigation, according to reporting by True Crime Today podcast, which has tracked every confirmed development in this case, the helicopter search found nothing. No signal was detected. Authorities have not released an official statement confirming or denying that result. The FBI has not commented. Sheriff Nanos stopped holding press conferences and stopped giving one-on-one interviews. That decision was reported by AZ Family, citing the department's own posted statement. The public has not received a timeline update in weeks. Robin Dreek, a 21-year FBI veteran and former chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, flagged a different problem to True Crime Today. He said the crime scene was released before the FBI secured it. Blood was photographed by reporters before federal agents arrived. Evidence was sent to a private lab, rather than to Quantico. Dreek noted this level of friction exists on almost every major case, but this one has been unusually visible. Fox News and Reuters both reported that Arizona officials blocked the FBI from reviewing key evidence. Neither the Pima County Sheriff's Department nor the FBI has officially confirmed or denied that reporting. FBI Director Kash Patel has been personally posting reward information and surveillance footage on X, and he appeared on the Fox News program Hannity to discuss the case, alluding to FBI partnerships. The jurisdictional tension has not been officially resolved. Has interagency friction slowed this investigation, and is that why the public has not heard an update in weeks? Authorities have not said. Here is where the evidence chain stands. The pacemaker disconnect at 2:28 a.m. is the only timestamp tied directly to Nancy Guthrie's body. It places her movement, or the removal of her phone, in a precise 2-minute window. A black glove found near the scene appeared to match the ones worn by the suspect in surveillance footage. DNA extracted from it belonged to an unknown male. There is no match in CODIS. which means this person has no prior criminal DNA profile in the U.S. federal system. Genetic genealogy is a possible pathway, and whether that pathway has been formally requested by law enforcement has not been officially confirmed. A second glove was reportedly found 2 miles from the scene, also yielding DNA from an unknown male. The blood found at the scene has no confirmed public update on its origin or analysis status. Mixed DNA was also collected from inside the residence. Its nature and status have not been officially disclosed. The reward stands at $100,000 from the FBI. Savannah Guthrie's family has separately offered $1 million. The FBI Phoenix tip line remains active. More than 50,000 tips have been submitted. The suspect, masked and armed, with visible eyes and mouth, a face seen by millions, has not been identified by a single person in 5 weeks. Day 37. Nancy Guthrie remains missing. No arrests, no confirmed location, no confirmed suspects. A 25-liter black Walmart backpack. A garden plant used to cover a doorbell camera lens. A Bitcoin wallet that received $152. And a pacemaker, still functioning, still theoretically broadcasting a signal every 2 to 3 minutes, somewhere. The FBI knows its exact MAC address. Helicopters were deployed. The Blue Fly units scanned. No official has said what they found, or what they did not. If you have information, the FBI tip line is active, and the reward is $100,000. We will follow updates as they develop. The final question in this case has not been asked on the record by anyone with the authority to answer it. The signal was there. The technology was deployed. What did it say?